Xeodrifter, originally developed by Renegade Kid before it was acquired by TUI Games after Renegade Kid split into two separate companies, is one of those rare games that I've owned and enjoyed playing on multiple consoles. 5 to be exact. Really, aside from a handful of first-party Nintendo games, I can't think of any games I've been this happy to own and play on so many different platforms. With that much experience on that many platforms, I think it says a great deal about the Nintendo Switch version when I say it's the definitive version of this game, and easily my favorite place to experience this awesome little Metroidvania space adventure. If you know what the game is about and you've heard enough, stop listening right now, stop watching, and just go pick it up. If you're unfamiliar with the game, let's continue. Xeodrifter starts as your spaceship collides with an asteroid, which damages the ship's warp drive. After the initial short little cutscene, you're put right in control of the ship and given a simple choice of 4 planets to explore. In true retro fashion, there's no hand-holding here, no glowing beacon to point you in the right direction, and this lack of direction or guidance may be jarring to some people, but it certainly helps sell the fact that our little hero is lost in space and completely alone. As you touch down on your first planet, you simply have to choose a direction and stick with it until you can't move any further. Early roadblocks hint at an upgrade system similar to Metroid games, where you learn new abilities as you progress, which help you progress further and further into the game and reach places that you couldn't before. Each new upgrade in Xeodrifter feels significant, whether it's finding a health or a weapon upgrade which are scattered throughout each planet, or a major ability upgrade which you collect by defeating a boss in each stage. Everything has a purpose. Weapon upgrades are my personal favorite, allowing you to configure your blaster based on personal preference or the challenge you're facing at the time. I tend to go for faster shooting, bigger bullet size, but I really enjoy the flexibility, especially in some of the later sections of the game. You're also able to set 3 configurations in the menu, allowing you to have a few different weapon variations to quickly flip between instead of adjusting each node every single time you want to change it up a bit. Like I mentioned earlier, each upgrade feels significant. Boss battles are tough, so when you receive a new ability, it really feels like you earned it. The game paces these battles and upgrades out wonderfully, and I never hit a point where I was too frustrated to trace my steps back and figure out where I had to go next, unlike some other Metroidvania games. Let's face it, if you put Samus Returns or one of these games down for a few days, you're probably going to need a guide to figure out where to go next, if you can even figure it out. In Xeodrifter, each of the 4 planets is small enough to run through in a few minutes, so your next path is going to become evident pretty quickly. The game is over in a few hours, but the length feels perfect for the experience. It doesn't overstay its welcome or drag things out too much, there's no unnecessary padding, and that's a good thing. As far as what makes the Switch version so special, the game just looks and plays amazingly well on this hardware. Whether it's in handheld mode, TV mode, whatever it is, the pixel art just pops. Throw in some seriously impressive HD rumble, like seriously impressive, and you've got a package that deserves to be part of any Switch library. The HD rumble is so good that I actually had an issue while playing the game and I couldn't play it how I wanted to. This isn't a knock against the game itself, but I find the D-pad on the Switch Pro controller a little lacking, so I prefer to play most of my retro games with an 8-bit-do SNES 30 wireless controller for the full retro effect. The problem is that controller doesn't have HD rumble, or rumble of any sort, so you miss out on the HD rumble in this game. The HD rumble honestly adds so much to this experience that I found myself preferring a subpar D-pad experience just so I didn't miss out on feeling how much work went into this port. The Switch sometimes feels a little bit like a port machine, and that can be good or bad depending on your gaming history and what you want to experience, but if every port was treated with as much love as Xeodrifter, the Switch wouldn't be so much a port machine as a place to play the definitive best versions of any game you can throw at it. You should really add Xeodrifter to your collection today. It's available right now in the Nintendo Switch eShop, and Warp Whistle Gaming gives Xeodrifter a 9 out of 10.